The United States political landscape is in constant flux, characterized by a dynamic interplay of ideologies, events, and personalities. Recent times have witnessed a period of particularly rapid evolution, raising questions about the future of American democracy. The rise of social media, the increasing polarization of the electorate, and the decline of traditional news sources have all contributed to a more fragmented and volatile political environment. One of the most significant trends in recent years has been the increasing polarization of the American electorate. This division is driven by a complex interplay of factors including economic inequality, cultural anxieties, and the rise of identity politics. The two major political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, have become more ideologically homogeneous, with less overlap in their policy positions. This has made it more difficult to find common ground and has led to legislative gridlock. Another significant development has been the rise of social media as a primary source of news and information for many Americans. While social media platforms have the potential to connect people and foster democratic dialogue, they have also been used to spread misinformation and disinformation. This has contributed to the erosion of trust in traditional institutions, including the media, government, and even science. The decline of traditional news sources such as newspapers and television news programs has also contributed to the fragmentation of the information landscape. As these outlets have struggled financially, they have been forced to cut staff and reduce coverage, leaving many communities without access to reliable local news. This has created a void that has been filled by partisan outlets and social media, which often prioritize engagement over accuracy. The media plays a crucial role in shaping public perception of political events and figures. In an era of information overload, it acts as a filter, selecting and interpreting the news for its audience. However, the media is not a monolithic entity, and different outlets often present vastly different perspectives on the same events. This diversity of viewpoints is essential to a healthy democracy, but it also makes it difficult for citizens to discern fact from fiction. Traditional news organizations, such as major newspapers and television networks, are generally held to high journalistic standards. They employ professional reporters and editors who strive to present accurate and unbiased information. However, even these outlets are not immune to bias, whether conscious or unconscious. The choice of which stories to cover, how to frame them, and whom to quote can all influence how the audience perceives an issue. The rise of cable news and the internet has led to a proliferation of partisan news outlets that cater to specific ideological audiences. These outlets often present information in a way that confirms their viewers' existing beliefs, even if it means sacrificing accuracy or objectivity. This has contributed to the phenomenon of echo chambers, where people are only exposed to information that reinforces their pre-existing views. Social media has further complicated the media landscape by creating new avenues for the spread of information, both accurate and inaccurate. Anyone with an internet connection can now publish their thoughts and opinions, reaching a potentially vast audience. While this can be empowering, it also makes it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Social media algorithms designed to maximize engagement often prioritize sensationalized content and clickbait headlines regardless of their veracity. Navigating the increasingly complex and polarized political landscape requires citizens to be critical consumers of information. It is essential to be aware of one's own biases and to seek out a variety of perspectives on any given issue. Engaging in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views is also crucial, even if it is uncomfortable or challenging. One way to become a more informed citizen is to diversify one's news diet. This means seeking out information from a variety of sources, including those that challenge one's own beliefs. It is also important to be aware of the biases of different news outlets and to consider how those biases might be influencing the information being presented. Another important step is to develop critical thinking skills. This involves questioning information rather than blindly accepting it, considering the source of information, and looking for evidence to support claims. It also means being aware of common logical fallacies and propaganda techniques. Engaging in respectful dialogue with those who hold different political views is essential for a functioning democracy. This can be challenging, but it is important to remember that most people are not motivated by malice, but by a desire to make the world a better place. By listening to each other, finding common ground and working together, we can bridge the political divide and create a more just and equitable society. The future of American political discourse remains uncertain. The forces that have driven polarization and division in recent years show no signs of abating. However, there is always hope that Americans can find a way to come together and address the challenges facing the nation. This will require a renewed commitment to civility, compromise, and a shared sense of purpose. One potential path forward is to reform the campaign finance system to reduce the influence of special interests and wealthy donors. This would allow elected officials to be more responsive to the needs of their constituents rather than the demands of their donors. It would also help to level the playing field and make it easier for challengers to run competitive campaigns. Another important step would be to address the issue of gerrymandering, which is the practice of manipulating electoral districts to favor one party or group over another. Gerrymandering has contributed to the rise of safe seats, where incumbents face little to no competition, and has made it more difficult for minority groups to elect representatives of their choice. Finally, it is essential to restore trust in democratic institutions, including the media, government, and the electoral process. This will require transparency, accountability, and a commitment to truth and accuracy. It will also require citizens to be engaged and informed participants in the democratic process. The challenges facing American democracy are significant, but they are not insurmountable. By working together, Americans can create a more perfect union, one that is more just, equitable, and representative of all its people.